Welcome to Switch Corner, my name is Alex, and today we're going to be taking a look at Monster Train First Class on the Nintendo Switch. A long overdue review. I wanted to run you through the basics and tell you why this is now up there as one of my favourite deck-based roguelites on the Switch. So hit subscribe for reviews and deals weekly, and let's get started. So story, and while there's not a huge amount to it, honestly, it does have an opening cutscene that at least adds, a little dash of kind of context. The idea here, Hell is frozen over after the angels destroyed these lands and they extinguished the pyres. You are the champions of Hell, you are on the title train, and you command the armies of Hell defending the last remaining pyre. Defeat the forces of heaven though, and reignite this inferno. Honestly, look, you're not coming here for story, but it at least gives you a reason for this journey, and it allows for a unique and creative cast of characters. So gameplay on this one's a roguelike, a deck builder with a dash of tactics as well. The tactical element of the gameplay is thanks to the fact this is not a single flat battlefield, rather 3 stacked upon each other with a 4th floor containing the pyre itself. The gameplay, it can basically be described as enemy forces enter on the ground floor, and if you fail to take them out in that turn, they'll move up to that next floor and so on until they reach your pyre. The pyre has a health bar, but also the ability to attack back as well, with, I would say, definitely some might. It's going to pretty much take down the majority of enemies relatively quickly. I've been playing this one now though since back at release, and this was the perfect excuse I needed to kind of reset things back to the beginning and try it again now with the knowledge I've gained over countless runs. Honestly as well, this one, completing that first run, it's not particularly difficult. You'll move through what is 8 locations, each with this sort of boss moment before that final standoff, but like any good deck builder, beating it once is not the idea, it's mastering the gameplay and the deck. Now if you're wondering what is going to keep me coming back here, it's 25 difficulty levels known as the Covenant, 6 different clans to not only master but level up, and then also the Last Divinity DLC which comes included, and it unlocks basically a true final boss. You can also opt to turn this DLC on and off from the main menu. I enjoyed it personally. It's an extra layer of strategy because to unlock the boss you need to find what is 100 shards. The problem, every shard actually dials up the difficulty of that next battle that you do face. The gameplay though in general, it's nothing you haven't seen before in the genre. For the most part, a deck of cards is randomly dealt to you with each round, and you'll have action points that you can then use to leverage them. You'll start at 3, but this can be increased as you do progress. This then, it's known as what is Ember. Cards though, they come in a variety of styles. Units allow you to place warriors onto the battlefield. They will attack at the end of each round automatically. You have abilities, so let's say restore health or attack a specific enemy, and then you also have champions, essentially leaders of the army, so they can, let's say, be upgraded maybe a little bit more than other units. That said though, all cards here, you have the opportunity to make them stronger, change the way they work, or even maybe combine them. With 6 different clans to master as well, you'll need to unlock them all. First of all, you'll actually start with just 2, that's the Hallowhorned and the Awoken. The reason for 2, you'll not only have your deck, but you'll choose what is an allied force, and that kind of leads into supporting cards. Think though, you're essentially getting 2 armies worth of decks here, so you can say let's have one that's maybe focused on strength and another that's focused on magic. For example, my kind of go-to, or the go-to for everybody in fact at the very beginning of the game, will be Hellhorned. They are heavy focused, Awoken more magical based. Then from here there's things like ice based as well. I really liked Hellhorned myself, but definitely it's going to be worth experimenting, and you'll want to experiment with all if you kind of want to level up and see everything. Leveling up the clan, beating runs, it unlocks those new difficulties, new cards, new stats. I loved the 2 clan system though, 2 decks to use at once. It means even if let's say you found a favourite and you don't want to move too far away, you can at least experiment in the allied area to see kind of what works together. Each run here then you'll be presented with an overworld map, a 2-lane train system. It culminates in a battle. As you move through though, you're going to uncover a fence. This could unlock, let's say, new cards. Maybe you'll find a merchant, maybe you'll get a health boost for your pyre, as damage here it is permanent from battle to battle. There's a ton of options to uncover, and those first few runs you'll definitely wing it, choose as you do progress, or at least that was the case for me, but as you do get further into the game, you're going to want to tap the right trigger. You can actually get an understanding of everything ahead on this, randomly generated map, and you can kind of create a path in advance for what is going to be your optimal setup. It just really succeeds at that addictive loop of learn these clans and cards, progress and overcome the challenge, and then it kind of slaps you in the face with here's a new difficulty to face and more clans to experiment with, and here's also a record of your achievements. Look how little of the game you've seen. You don't even have recognition yet of being that good. And yeah, what can I say? I love that loop, and it absolutely delivers here. Then it also throws in the multi-floor tactical element, and it's just overall a winner. On top of this, a multiplayer mode which is timed to see who can top each other's, daily challenges and community challenges as well. These you can create yourself, and yeah, for that reason it's definitely content rich. I really have very few complaints as well, honestly. The controls, they're going to take some getting used to. It uses nearly everything due to the amount of card and menu navigation involved, but it works just fine. And then I wish it had a few more spins on the gameplay. Let's say an endless mode that you could try to face down. The only other thing, I guess, real complaint, when you first boot up the game, it has a good, let's say 30 to 45 second load time, which gets a little bit annoying, but once you're in, everything loads super quick. So I guess that was, the lesser of two evils. Overall though, it's one of the very best deck builders available on the Nintendo Switch right now. Visually then, for the most part, I really like it. I think the environment is unique. The menus, they do a good job of getting all of the information in front of you, even in the handheld, and the cards in particular, they look fantastic. The unit designs, at times I do think it can look perhaps a little bit cheap, honestly, with repetitive animations, but that's for sure going to be more of a personal preference over anything else. For me though, it's almost lacking in that final level of detail that can make it something really special, because you can absolutely see the intention. Runs great though finally on the Switch, so yeah, honestly, I don't think you're coming here necessarily for that visual design. The gameplay for sure carries it, but it doesn't look bad at all. Audio finally then, and I enjoyed it. The attacks sound good, cards have these minor effects attached which makes sense. The music is particularly high quality. It's also something they are clearly proud of as well, because the game actually shows the name of the track on screen which is playing over a particular battle, and I respect that. I think it's nice they give the credit where it's due. The game's opening cutscene then, it opens with this minor voiceover. I wish that was in the game itself, because occasionally we do get voiceless text bubbles in battle, but yeah, look, again, no issue from me. I think they delivered for the most part in the audio department. So the final verdict, and Monster Train First Class is a deck building roguelike that feels just right at home on the Nintendo Switch, because we've got a ton of them at this point, honestly, but this one, it does just enough to do something a little bit different, and that makes it exciting and fresh. That is that spin, the multi-floor approach, watching enemies ascend the floors. It just adds not only extra strategy, but this constant kind of thought around planning what's going to be happening next and where you need to be. Do you place, for example, strong enemies at the top or the bottom floor, right at the entrance? It's kind of a very basic example, but it kind of gives you the idea. For me though, if you enjoy the genre, this is a must play. It's on par with Slay the Spire, and honestly, since this released, I've been turning to this one just a little bit more frequently. The addiction is real, it is absolutely worth it. The footage today then, the very first few runs, no spoilers, but it truly does continue to evolve, and as that difficulty ramps, the only way I can describe it is brutal. It's going to be great for beginners though at the same time. It's not throwing you in the deep end immediately, but if you are looking for challenge, you are definitely going to find it here. An amazing 9 out of 10 from me today. Then I have very few complaints, as I've said, and it's just a shame it never saw a physical release, because it is more than deserved. Have you played this one though? What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. A shout out then to the patrons of the channel who are going above and beyond to support Switch Corner. It helps more than you know, so thank you all so much. Then hit subscribe if you love the Switch, as much as we all do here. Join our growing family, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.